Oh, recording now in the studio. Oh, let me see if I can. Is that better? That's a lot better. One, two, and clappy clap. What's up, guys? Welcome back to JP's Perspective, the podcast experience and the YouTube experience. Today we are recording it double time because I actually have a brand new episode that's coming out this Monday. Get excited for that because I'm excited to release that episode. I seriously am so excited because it's an episode with Serge Serge. It's with Serge and hopefully I'm sorry I butchered your last name, man, but I'm excited, so make sure to go listen to that on the podcast. And I didn't get to record it. Well, we recorded it, but our batteries ran out and some technical issues went along with it as well. So if you guys want to hear that interview with him, make sure to go check it out on the podcast. This is going to be the YouTube channel and the podcast for this coming Friday. I am switching everything out for my podcast to release on Monday mornings or Mondays so that you guys can get motivated and stay motivated throughout the week as you listen to those podcasts. So yeah, I'm super excited, but that's going to be releasing on Monday. This coming Monday, it's going to be Monday what's the date today? 21? I don't know, Monday, whatever the date is on Monday. Sorry, let me look. Monday the 25th. So make sure to go check it out on my podcast. And YouTube, I just want to thank you guys for coming in and checking it out. My name is Jeremiah Padilla. If you guys are new to this channel, make sure to go subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Anyways, today is Friday. I have Faith Fridays that I told you guys that I really wanted to do, and I'm actually going to try to grind them out to share as much as possible to you guys as I read my Bible, to share to you guys what I learn, because that's essentially why I started my YouTube channel, is to give as much value as I can to you guys. So today I wanted to talk about trusting in God, trusting in Him to make sure that everything that you do in life reflects through Him. And I want to read in my Bible, so if you guys hear my papers crinkling, I wanted to read Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6. So let me read it out loud. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths. Let me read that again. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. So in all your ways, in all the things that you do, you have to acknowledge Him. Acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths. So the reason why I wanted to start off with this verse or these verses in Proverbs is because King Solomon essentially wanted to make sure that he gave out as much. He's the richest man. He was the richest man on earth, that the wealthiest man, and he was a pretty prosperous king. And he wanted wisdom, and so as he basically had so much wisdom that he was giving it to people. And essentially, this is guidance for the young. This is guidance for everybody. And these two verses really resonate in me because I've had experiences. Even though I'm a long-term Christian, I'm still human and I still do make a lot of mistakes. This channel isn't because I think that I know the Bible. That has no correlation with anything. I'm still learning so much, especially if I read over and over, like the verses that I learn and read. The Bible, what it gives to you is different every single time. And trust me, like I have been reading and I wasn't a very good studier in the Bible, but recently I have been digging deeper and deeper into it, and I have been getting a lot of value that I just been wanting to share with you guys on YouTube and on the podcast as well. And if you guys listen to my podcast, I actually talk about some of the verses in Proverbs, and I just just you go listen to it on my podcast, YouTubers. If you guys are watching it on YouTube, go check it out. My podcast link is at the bottom. But today, the reason why I wanted to read about trusting in the Lord is that I've had experiences where I didn't trust in the Lord. I've had experiences where I essentially did everything on my own, or essentially I tried to do everything on my own. But it clearly says in Proverbs, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. So trusting in the Lord with all your heart means giving everything to God, giving everything to the Lord, giving Him all you've got. Because once you do that, essentially you're giving up your life to God. Essentially means that you're giving your whole being to Him, and you're not trusting in yourself. As it says in the second part of verse 5, it says, and lean not on your own understanding. Because if you try to do everything on your own as a person, as a Christian, or as a believer, or as just an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, a businessman, a student, anything that you're doing in your life, if you're not trusting and you're leaning on your own understanding, it's hard, right? Let me give you an experience where, like, you want to partner up with a person. Sometimes starting a business is hard to do by yourself. But if you partner with a person, that essentially it becomes a lot easier. Because when you partner with a person, the task of everything that you're doing in a business or as a business fall on both of you guys. It's not just one load. It's not just one load where it just lands on you. But in the Bible, it says, don't lean on your own understanding, but instead trust in Him. The second part in verse 6, it says, in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths. So, just because we're not leaning on our own understanding, don't throw away the acknowledging part, because essentially that's the most important. Is that a couple weeks ago we did a Friendsgiving for my friends and for at church, and they asked me to speak, and in the Friendsgiving I talked about giving thanks in everything, not for everything, in everything, right? Because if you give thanks for everything, you're giving thanks for a horrible experience in like business, or you're giving thanks for a broken car. That's not what God is trying to tell you. He's saying give thanks in everything, right? And so in everything, the same with Proverbs. We were talking about in Thessalonians, but let me bring it back to Proverbs, is that you have to acknowledge Him in everything that you do. You have to say, Lord, thank you for this. Thank you for the opportunities given to me. Thank you for firing me. Thank you for not giving me a job right away, because I know that you have something else planned. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to fail, because now I'm learning more and trusting in you more, in the Lord more. And essentially that's what He's trying to say, is that lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him. And when you do that, when you acknowledge Him as your Lord and Savior, as God, our Creator, our Maker, He will guide you through whatever you have planned, whatever purpose He has given you to do. Because that's essentially what we are here for on earth, is to fulfill His purpose and to figure out our purpose for Him. Because if we go through life just, floating on earth and not really understanding what we're supposed to be doing, it's not very fulfilling, right? Is it fulfilling? Like, leave down in the comments below if you're floating in life and you're not really doing much with your life. Is it fulfilling, right? So God wants us to trust in Him because He wants us to go in His path. He will direct the paths that He has for us. Even though sometimes He'll give you and throw you storms, He just, when that happens, guys, when something bad happens in your life, He's making sure that you are still trusting in Him, right? Let me tell you a little story. My podcast, people that listen, they know all about this story, but I haven't talked about it on YouTube. But essentially, when I was in nursing school, I failed. I ended up trusting in myself. I ended up not leaning on God, and essentially that led to failure. And God really, really made sure that I failed, right? He made sure that I had that experience in my life. And I am so blessed, and I'm so glad that I had that experience in my life, because if I didn't, I probably would have went down a rabbit hole and not even trust in Him, not grow stronger in the Lord, not read my Bible every day. And I mean, some days I'm not a perfect Christian, or I'm not a perfect person, right? Let me ask you, if you're a perfect person, try to walk on water. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm a great Christian. I am a human being trusting in God, making sure that He has my full life. I am making sure that I am trusting in the Lord, making sure that in all my endeavors, through my YouTube channel, through my podcast, through my photography business, through anything that I'm doing in my life, I'm making sure that He's the very first and the very front. So if you guys want to be successful in something, make sure, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Believe that God will provide for you. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding, right? Our brains are so small. They're so small, right? Compared to God's being in this whole universe, it's just unimaginable how big God is. And if you can get that through your brain, how small our brains are compared to what God can do, the things that can happen in your life, the peace that surpasses all understanding, can be in your heart, and you will surely understand what goes on, why things get difficult. So in all your ways acknowledge Him, and at the very end, He will direct your path. So the first episode of First Friday is, I just wanted to give out that little snippet of Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, a very popular verse, but sometimes we just throw it away, or if we're not reading the Bible, sometimes we don't know about it. But Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Make sure to just keep at it, keep following Him, keep trusting in what God has planned for you, and He will direct your path into the right ways. I want to thank you guys, and I want to appreciate and pray that you guys keep listening to these Faith Fridays. Every Friday I will have a new episode of this, and this, even if I miss the first episode in the midweek, I promise that I will try to get Faith Fridays every Friday. So if you guys want to keep listening and keep hearing these verses, or any type of experiences I have in my life, any quote that I might come across and I will share with you guys, Faith Friday is where it will be at. So make sure to come back, or if you are new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I know that I barely have any subscribers, so make sure to follow, hit that subscribe button. Also hit that bell notification, what is it, the little clicky thing, the bell notification. So make sure to hit that, and also lightly tap that like button, because everybody says smash that like button, but lightly, just do it right now. Lightly click right there. All right, I appreciate you guys, and thank you guys so much for watching this, and hopefully I see you guys in the next Faith Friday. Bye guys.